Here's a strong introduction for your motivational speech. Imagine waking up every morning feeling unstoppable, knowing that no matter what life throws at you, you have the power to push through. But let's be honest, most people don't feel that way. Success seems to come so easily to others, but remains just out of reach for them. There was a time when I felt the same way. I remember standing in front of the mirror, staring at my reflection, asking myself, is this it? Is this all I'm meant to be? No matter how hard I worked, something was always missing. I had dreams, big ones, but I lacked the discipline and mindset to make them real. Every failure chipped away at my confidence, and every setback felt like proof that I wasn't good enough. I wanted to change, but I didn't know how. Then one day, I stumbled upon a truth so simple yet so powerful that it changed everything. It's not about waiting for motivation to strike. It's about building habits so strong that nothing can break you. The world's most successful people don't rely on luck or talent alone. They have daily practices, rituals that sharpen their minds, strengthen their bodies, and fuel their spirits. These are the small, consistent actions that turn ordinary people into legends. But here's the catch. Most people never commit to these practices. They let distractions, excuses, and self-doubt take over. They tell themselves they'll start tomorrow, but tomorrow turns into next week, next month, next year. And before they know it, they're stuck in the same place, watching others succeed while they stay behind. What if I told you that starting today, you could rewire your mind, reshape your habits, and rebuild yourself into someone unbreakable? What if I told you that everything you've been looking for, confidence, success, purpose, is already within you, just waiting to be unlocked? I'm going to share the key practices that transformed my life, the same ones that have helped countless people push past their limits and create a life they never thought possible. But before we get into that, let me ask you one thing. Are you ready to finally take control? Because once you start this journey, there's no turning back. I remember the exact moment when everything changed for me. It wasn't some grand event. No flashing lights, no dramatic music, no life-altering speech from a mentor. It was just me, sitting alone in my room, drowning in frustration, staring at a half-finished to-do list, feeling the weight of my own excuses pressing down on me. I had spent years waiting for the right opportunity, waiting to feel motivated, waiting for some magical sign that would tell me I was finally ready to go all in. But that day, something clicked. I realized the truth. No one was coming to save me. No one was going to wake me up at 5 a.m. and force me to chase my dreams. No one was going to stop me from wasting hours scrolling through my phone, watching other people live the life I wanted. No one was going to fight my battles for me. That realization hit me like a ton of bricks. I had been my own biggest obstacle. Not my circumstances, not my past, not my lack of resources. Me. Every excuse, every delay, every half-hearted effort was my own doing. And if I was the problem, that meant I was also the solution. I wish I could tell you I flipped a switch that day and everything got easier. But that's not how it works. Change is slow. It's frustrating. It's uncomfortable. The first morning I tried waking up early to take control of my day, I hit snooze 5 times. The first workout I forced myself through felt like torture. The first time I tried to focus on my goals instead of distractions, my mind fought me every step of the way. But I kept going, even when I didn't feel like it, even when I wanted to quit. And that's when I started to see it, the shift, the small victories, the moments where I realized I was becoming someone different, someone stronger. What I didn't know at the time was that this wasn't just about discipline. It was about rewiring my mind, about proving to myself every single day that I was capable of more than I had ever believed. And just when I thought I had figured it out, life threw something at me that tested everything I had built, something that forced me to either break or become unbreak. It started as just another challenge, something I thought I could push through like everything else. I had built momentum. I was waking up earlier, sticking to my habits, training my mind to stay disciplined even when I didn't feel like it. But life has a way of testing you, just when you start to think you have things under control. One day, out of nowhere, everything came crashing down. A personal setback. The kind that knocks the air out of your lungs and makes you question everything. The kind that makes you wonder if all the effort, all the discipline, all the sacrifices were even worth it. I remember staring at my phone, reading a message that changed everything. My heart was pounding, my hands were shaking, and suddenly, all the motivation I had built felt like it was slipping through my fingers. The voice in my head, the one I had fought so hard to silence, came roaring back. Asterisk, maybe you're not cut out for this. Maybe it's easier to go back to the way things were. Maybe this is proof that you'll never make it. Asterisk. That's the thing about setbacks. They don't just slow you down. They make you question yourself. They make you wonder if you've been fooling yourself the whole time. And in that moment, for the first time in a long time, I felt like giving up. I stopped everything. The morning routines, the workouts, the late-night grind sessions. I told myself I needed time to figure things out, but deep down I knew the truth. I was slipping. The same cycle I had fought to escape was pulling me back in, and part of me was letting it happen. Then, something strange happened. In the middle of all that self-doubt, I got a call from an old friend, someone who had seen me at my lowest. Someone who used to be, the person who had almost given up before. There was something in their voice, something that cut through all the noise in my head. I don't know what's going on with you, but I do know this: if you quit now, you'll regret it. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but one day, you'll look back and wonder what could have happened if you had just kept going. I wanted to argue. I wanted to say they didn't understand. But deep down, I knew they were right. I had come too far to throw it all away. And yet, knowing that didn't make it any easier. I stood at a crossroads. One path led back to comfort, to old habits, to the same life I had fought to escape. The other was unknown. It was filled with uncertainty, pain, struggle, but also possibility. The version of me that I wanted to become was waiting on that path. But was I strong enough to take it? Doubt crept in again. What if I failed? What if I put in all this work, only to end up right back where I started? That fear was paralyzing. And for a moment, I almost let it win. Then something happened. A memory surfaced miserably. A time when I had let fear win. It was a moment I had buried deep, convinced it didn't matter anymore. But now, standing at this crossroads, it came rushing back. The memory was sharp, painful, a reminder of what happens when you let doubt control your choices. I was younger then, full of ideas and ambition, but lacking the discipline to follow through. There had been an opportunity, one that could have changed everything. I had talked about it for weeks, told myself I was ready, convinced myself I could do it. But when the moment came, I hesitated. I let excuses pile up. I let fear whisper in my ear. And just like that, the opportunity slipped away. I had spent years trying to forget that failure. But now at this moment, I realized why it mattered. It wasn't just about the lost chance. It was about the pattern. Every time life got hard, I had taken the easy way out. Every time fear knocked, I had answered. And here I was again, standing on the edge of another decision, feeling the same pull to walk away. But this time, something was different. Because just as I started to convince myself to let go, something else happened, something I never saw coming. A second blow. This one even harder than the first. Just when I thought I had hit my lowest point, life threw another curveball. The kind of setback that makes you wonder if the universe is testing you. The kind that makes you want to scream, "Why me?" I felt the weight of it pressing down on me, heavier than before. Suddenly, all the progress I had made felt small. My confidence, my discipline, it all felt like it was slipping away again. For the first time in a long time, I questioned everything. Was this fight even worth it? Maybe some people were meant to be strong, to push through anything, but maybe I wasn't one of them. Maybe I wasn't built for this. That thought terrified me more than anything, because deep down I knew, if I gave up now, I wasn't just losing this battle. I realized that this wasn't just another challenge. This was the asterisk moment. The moment that would define me. The moment that would decide whether I would keep repeating the same cycle or finally break free. I took a deep breath, and for the first time in days, I silenced the noise in my head. No more excuses, no more waiting, no more questioning if I was strong enough. I had a choice: keep drowning in doubt or fight my way through it. And I wasn't about to let fear win again. I got up. I forced myself to take one small step forward, then another. It wasn't perfect. It wasn't easy, but something shifted inside me. The weight of failure was still there, but this time it wasn't holding me down. It was pushing me forward. And then, just when I thought I had regained control, the final twist hit. Out of nowhere, an opportunity appeared. One I never saw coming. One I wouldn't have been ready for if I had given up. It was almost unreal, like life had been waiting to see if I would break before offering me a way forward. I stood at that moment, staring at the very thing I had been chasing for so long. But here's the twist: it wasn't the opportunity itself that mattered. It was who I had become on the way there. The habits, the discipline, the resilience, those were the real rewards. The opportunity was just proof that I had earned it. And that's when I understood something that changed everything. Success doesn't come when you feel ready. It comes when you prove you won't quit, when you show up even when it's hard, when you refuse to break. Because in the end, the only way to build an unbreakable mind, an unbreakable spirit, an unbreakable life, is to refuse to let anything break you. I stood there, feeling the weight of everything I had been through. The struggles, the doubts, the moments when I almost gave up, they weren't just obstacles. They were the very things that had shaped me. Every failure, every setback, every time I thought I had reached my limit, I was being prepared for this moment. But here's what I realized. It was never about the opportunity. It was never about some big break or final destination. It was about who I had become in the process. The kind of person who no longer waited for motivation. The kind of person who showed up, no matter what. The kind of person who refused to let failure define them. I used to think success was about getting everything right, about having some perfect plan or feeling ready. But the truth is, success belongs to the ones who keep going when everything inside them says to stop. The ones who push past the fear, the exhaustion, the moments of doubt. The ones who get knocked down and refuse to stay there. Looking back, I realized that the hardest moments weren't there to break me. They were there to build me. To prove to myself that I was capable of more than I ever believed. And if there's one thing I want you to take from this, it's this: you are stronger than you think. The life you want, the person you want to become, it's not some impossible dream. It's waiting for you on the other side of discipline, consistency, and resilience. Most people quit when it gets hard. They let fear and self-doubt win. But the ones who refuse to quit, they become unstoppable. They become unbreakable. So ask yourself, when life tests you, when things get tough, when you feel like you have nothing left, will you break? Or will you rise? Because the only thing standing between you and everything you've ever wanted is the decision to keep going.